I'm James Chapman. I'm the General Manager of Qualcomm's Voice, Music and Wearables Business Unit. Pleasure to be with you today and looking forward to answering a number of questions from the team around audio. That's very interesting. Primarily, it's because we see audio being very, very important to people. We've seen that particularly over the pandemic, more and more people using audio in a number of different ways, and audio becoming very important to them. So we see it with the normal music listening, but also podcasts, a lot of people doing gaming with headphones on, a lot of video calls for friends, family, work. And we're finding those consumers are now demanding really high quality audio. They don't want any compromise. And the problem we have as a technology provider is Bluetooth. I mean, it's great, but it was never really designed for high resolution content, lossless content. And other parts of the industry are moving very much towards things like lossless audio. A number of streaming companies, for example, will now push lossless audio at consumers, but they can't get it to the headphone. So with Snapdragon Sound, we're really looking to get over some of these compromises and deliver high quality audio in a very robust way, and with the option for low gaming latency to consumers. That's something we've been able to do because we can optimize. So we've taken an end-to-end view of audio. So we, if you like, curate the sound from the moment it gets into your phone, all the way through the phone chips, out across the wireless interface, into your earbuds, and through all the way to your eardrum. So Snapdragon Sound, really, it's something we're doing to give consumers what they're demanding from us, which is that really high quality audio in a very robust way, and with very low latency when they need it for gaming. Well, having earphones and mobile phones is a really great opportunity. Because when you've got both of those with Snapdragon Sound technology, what Qualcomm can do, working with our partners, is we can really optimize that experience. So as I said before, we can take the sound as it comes into the phone and manage and curate it all the way through the software, all the way through the radios as we send it across the earbuds, and all the way through the earbud until it hits your eardrum. And in doing that, we can really lift the bar on quality, on latency, on robustness. So for example, with music, taking this approach, we can now deliver CD quality lossless all the way to a set of wireless earbuds. That's 16-bit 44 kilohertz audio, just as the artist intended when they did that mix in the studio. We're able to deliver full super wideband voice, so that's what we call up to 32 kilohertz super wideband voice. Very important if you're on calls every day, on calls for a long time. You find that you get very tired unless you have very good voice quality. And then for people who want to indulge in mobile gaming, often for quite a long time, they need great latency. Otherwise, the gaming experience is ruined, and we deliver that. So having the mobile phone, having the earphones with the Snapdragon Sound allows us to deliver that really good latency, the really good quality, and the really good robustness, because we can manage all the way end to end and optimize end to end across those two devices. Well, we're really pleased. We only launched Snapdragon Sound in March 2021, and we've seen stunning momentum. So today, less than 12 months since launch, we have 22 devices available that you can go and buy. 44 OEMs and ODMs, so device manufacturers, have signed up to use the technology, and we've got some great names using it. So people like Xiaomi, Vivo, Motorola, Edifier have signed up and got products out there with Snapdragon Sound. And obviously, I can't tell you all the details, but a really good pipeline coming as well. So we're always looking to develop, and we're always looking to kind of push that technology forward. It's not kind of a one-shot deal. As an example, we're launching our latest earbud platforms, the 51.7X and the 35X at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. That provides the CD quality lossless Bluetooth audio at 16 bits, 44.1 kilohertz. And that's a first for Bluetooth earbuds. Nobody else in the world is doing that. We're able to enable stereo recording. So if you have, a bud in each ear, you'll be able to take the video blog and have really good binaural recorded stereo. We think that's very exciting. We're enhancing the robustness again, making sure that even in the busiest radio environments, in a busy cafe, walking in the subway, you'll still get really good audio. And we've optimized that gaming mode latency again, really making sure that you can have a high quality gaming experience. We're down at around 68 milliseconds for gaming latency, and that's the time from pressing the screen with your finger to hearing the result in your ear. Now, there's a lot more coming. This is just one example of what we've just announced at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. We've got things coming on other devices. We're looking at how we get this into laptops, potentially how we drive this into more source devices. Maybe even at some point we start to see these things coming into things like cars. Well, they're very complementary. So Aptx is an audio codec. So without something like Aptx, you can't deliver that premium sound. So it's one of the critical building blocks of Snapdragon Sound. We have a roadmap for Aptx. It's very well regarded in the industry. If you look across, majority of premium audio devices, they'll be using Aptx to stream audio. But it's one component and only one of the components of many that go in to make Snapdragon Sound. So we took Aptx, that technology, that premium audio codec, and alongside it, we optimized the software on both sides of the link, so on the phone and the earbud. We added special modes into our Bluetooth radios, technology like our Qualcomm high-speed link, and that ensures we're able to get the very best sound quality, the best latency and robustness into these devices used end-to-end with Snapdragon Sound. We've been doing it for a long time. We've been making wireless audio chips, Bluetooth audio chips for more than a decade. We've shipped billions of chips into many devices, so earbuds, soundbars, even cars. We work with the leading OEMs, people like Bose, Sennheiser, Jabra, Vivo, Xiaomi, Edifier, Audio-Technica, many, many others. And from that experience, from that engagement with some of the leading audio players in the industry, we get a lot of input, a lot of information, a lot of drive to drive audio forward to really excel in terms of things like that quality, robustness, and latency I was talking about in some of the previous questions. Now, behind it, we invest a lot in research and development. A lot of effort goes into bringing the products to market, into bringing the features to market. For an example, the technology underlying the Snapdragon Sound features we've been discussing here today have been at least 3 years in the making. There's a lot of research and development work that goes on. We have to build them into silicon. We have to make sure the products are very reliable, and then we have to work with our partners to get them to market. So it's a long-term game. We've been in it a long time with, a lot of success. We've been very proud to work with some of the leading companies in the market, and that just pushes us to always try to excel and drive audio forwards. Now, another thing that's really good about working in Qualcomm is we get to work across devices. Qualcomm has chips in phones, in cars, in laptops, in AR, VR devices, a range of other things as well. Having access to that range of devices allows us to think end to end. It allows us to work out how we get the best experience, looking at how the audio moves all the way across and around and through the devices. It's that that's also allowed us to go and think about the developments and the innovation behind things like Snapdragon Sound. Absolutely critical. If you take a kind of a piecemeal approach to sound, if you imagine that each device is going to do what it does and then pass it on to the next one, does a bit more to the audio, you end up with quite a fragmented experience on that audio. You can't deliver the best quality, you can't deliver the best latency, it won't be as robust because every device is working in isolation. It can't work hand in hand. What we think we can do when we start to have mobile phone chips and audio chips designed together, and that's what we do in Qualcomm, we design them together, you're able to really optimize that full end-to-end experience and make sure that there's nothing getting in the way of the the most optimized, the least compromised experience we can possibly deliver to you. And it's not just about phones and audio chips, actually. It's also about audio chips in headphones and sound bars, and chips in things like AR, VR devices, chips in laptops, chips even in cars. So there's a lot we're doing to try and get that end-to-end audio experience to be as strong as it possibly can be. Well, we have a dedicated interoperability lab, what we call an IoP lab, based in Taiwan. We make sure that every device that carries either the Aptx brand or the Snapdragon Sound brand goes through that lab, and we test for interoperability with all the other devices. And in doing that, we can work with our partners and make sure that the devices carrying that stamp meet the interoperability. They're going to work with any other device that carries that stamp, and they meet the quality standards that we believe need to underpin the Snapdragon Sound brand and the Aptx brands. So that's what we do. It costs us quite a lot of money. It's quite a lot of effort. There's dedicated teams doing it, but we really do stand behind the Snapdragon Sound brand and the Aptx brands, and we put our money and our resources into ensuring that when you see that brand, you get good quality, and the quality in the audio that we want you to get. It's very interesting. We've been doing our State of Sound report for many years now. Our 2021 survey had 6,000 consumers globally that we went and talked to. And we're finding that for those consumers, sound is more important than ever. I think partly driven by the pandemic, and the fact that people have engaged much more closely with audio and used it in more use cases for a lot longer time during the day. We've seen people really value audio as they've connected to friends and family and colleagues, work remotely. That's been very, very important to people. We found that they've not just listened to music, but they've also been watching a lot of videos on devices using headphones. They've been doing a lot of gaming using headphones. And indeed, 70% of those that we surveyed said that the performance of their audio devices had a real impact on how they viewed their overall smartphone experience. Not unsurprisingly, when we asked about purchase drivers, these 6,000 consumers were very consistent, and they said that sound quality remained the most powerful purchase driver for audio products. And quality features like high resolution, like lossless audio, are very, very important to these consumers and becoming increasingly important. The other interesting thing we noted was gaming is growing in terms of the things that consumers talk to us about. People really like the gaming experience they're getting, particularly on the mobile devices. It's gaining a lot in popularity. It's a way that people have really found a means to escape from, the lockdown, for example. And in that gaming environment, they're telling us they really value the low latency audio they can get on their wireless audio devices. Absolutely. So we've been running the consumer research, our State of Sound reports, for 6 years. And every year we've been feeding that back into our roadmap, into our research and development. To some extent, what we're finding from that survey and what we're seeing in the market is we're at a real turning point for audio. Consumers are demanding a lot more. The market, I think, is moving very quickly. And we really, really value the input that we get from consumers in these State of Sound reports to help drive our roadmap. One example is the continued focus that we've had from consumers on audio quality is one of the things that drove us towards Snapdragon Sound. And when we started the R&D development for Snapdragon Sound, maybe 3+ years ago, that's been coming out of the push we've seen from consumers for very high quality audio. We're now delivering it. We're delivering greater than a megabit per second. We're delivering the lossless audio that wouldn't be possible otherwise. And that's come very much off the back of what the consumers told us they wanted. Now, the good thing is that's been cooking for maybe 3 years. We've had a lot of feedback in the interim, and we have a lot more kind of in the kitchen that we're looking forward to bringing out. There's a lot more to come on that Snapdragon Sound journey. So China is an incredibly innovative market. There is no other market that really values pace of innovation and is really prepared to try and to work with new technology. As an innovator, as a chip company, it's a very, very exciting market to be a part of. What we found from our State of Sound research backs this up. We found that there's a very high usage of audio devices, wireless audio devices, across the people we surveyed in China, across a whole range of different listening activities. There's very, very strong desire to see advanced audio use cases, advanced sound quality differentiation, a very strong desire for things like lossless audio, high resolution audio. So I would say that we're very influenced by that forward-looking consumer base in China. We've designed Snapdragon Sound for that user base, for that innovative audiophile that really is looking for those advanced features, that advanced differentiation.